Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
I'm Charles,
And I'm Teresa, and
and
we
we
are
are the
the
Gilbertsons.
We were privileged enough to have our wedding last month,
Yeah.
and we want to talk to you a little bit about the wedding planning process.
Yeah.
We know it's not easy for a young couple to plan and execute a wedding,
Yep.
especially in these times post COVID and the way the world is going. And we want to just share our experience of planning our own wedding here in Ghana
Yeah.
and having the wedding of our dreams. And so, some of you guys have sent in questions. We just want to answer and impart some of our wisdom, our knowledge, and help you in any way that we can. So,
Yep.
if you're interested, keep watching.
I command, I no go move till you command. Me, I go there when you command. But I go run if you command. Yeah, I fuck Calvary, you cover me. Yeah, in my eyes, I'm losing before me. You be my desire. Now you there for my fire. January to December. Now you be my sustainer.
So first off, why don't we share our experiences, like our individual experiences, in regards to like our wedding?
Okay, that's good. You go shoot.
Me first.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I enjoyed planning the wedding, even though it was stressful and I gained weight because I was so stressed. I did enjoy planning the wedding. I do feel like it was a good process, a learning process. I feel like it was kind of like our first, even though we weren't married yet, I felt like it was our first like challenge as a couple, like having to really, it was like us working on a project together and we had a challenge to overcome, a hurdle to overcome,
Yeah.
and we worked on it together. And so that's why I really like that part and that aspect.
Okay, for me, it was. I've been planning a lot of things in my life, businesses, ministry programs, conferences. So I felt like it was another form of event that I was planning. And well, I wouldn't say it was much tedious or tough, but I took it as an opportunity to explore other sectors of planning. So it was beautiful.
Okay, let's get into the questions. What was your favorite part of wedding planning?
My favorite part of wedding planning, I think, was mainly welcoming our guests. All the people that flew in from Canada, America, from Dubai, some friends from the UK. It was for me. It was a pleasure welcoming our guests because these people, sacrifice their time, their jobs, their money, their everything just to make it happen for us. So I think that's my favorite part to welcome them. Yeah.
My favorite part of wedding planning was probably the execution stage, like that last month, the actual month of April, when everything that we had been planning for months was actually falling and coming into place. Like
Yeah.
we met with Emma J,
Yeah.
and we got to see her final vision. We sent everybody their balances. And we're like, okay, it's gonna happen now. But it was still a bit uncertain because we didn't know what we were gonna see that day when like we got there. We didn't know how it was gonna look or anything. So it was still a bit like, but just the part where it's like, wow, this is actually happening. So that whole month of April was my favorite part. Welcoming the guests, paying off the balances, just seeing the day get closer, and it's like, wow, this is actually happening. That. Next question: how did you organize and plan financially?
Organize and plan financially. So we
We
saved.
stopped going out.
We stopped going out. We saved a lot, and also thanks to all the people out there, friends, family, and everybody that sent gifts. So along the line, I think it started with most of our close friends, like my best friend, her best friends, her close friends, people just started surprising us with gifts. The right from December
Yeah,
last year,
we started
yeah,
getting a
we
lot
started getting a lot of gifts
gifts,
from family,
seeds,
seeds, and all
and
of
all
that. Yeah, and also from our hard work. We stopped going out a lot. We used to chill a lot, but we cut a lot of things out because we know where the vision is heading to. So we had to cut a lot of chilling we love chilling, but we had to cut a lot of chilling down, and we had to save, gather more money, and also in organization of funds, we also had aside saving and aside all of these things, we had families and friends giving to us. A lot of people donated, sowed seed, a lot of seeds, family, friends, mentors, all of them, and we're much grateful.
Yeah. And we also allocated the funds for everything that we knew we had to pay for. Like we had a spreadsheet and we knew the budgets for everything that we had to pay for.
Yeah.
We knew how much was owing, how much was left to pay. And so we made sure we followed that. We looked at it every single day and made sure that we were on track. So every time we got a gift, a seed that could go towards the wedding, then we would refer to our spreadsheet and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So, how was the process for you? How did you deal with family stress? So, for me, I would say there wasn't much family stress. I feel like our families were very supportive in terms of the wedding planning. They gave us like the creative freedom to do what we wanted. They didn't micromanage us. I know African parents, they like to do that a lot. Like they, even if it's your wedding, they like to come in and bring in their plans and ideas. But for us, we didn't really have that problem. Our parents collaborated with us and they respected our wishes and decisions, which made it less stressful. I think stress comes when you're being drawn away from your vision because somebody else may be imposing their vision on you, or everybody has different ideas that don't align with what you guys want as a couple. But for us, we didn't have that problem. Our family supported us and they supported what we wanted, and they helped us in any way we can. So for me, I didn't find stress because of that. So the process, even though it was stressful planning a wedding, I wouldn't say there was stress from family, in my opinion.
Okay, family wasn't much of any stress. They were peaceful and they gave us their support. They just, you know, allowed us to do whatever we had to do. And we would always, touch base with them and let them know where we were heading. If we needed to understand something from them, they gave us their wisdom, but they didn't impose their ideologies and their passion upon our marriage. They allowed us to be ourselves.
Yeah. Next question. How do you cut costs? I'm currently planning my wedding.
To cut cost, I would say it's great to have a beautiful wedding and an amazing wedding. But I would say look out for the right vendors that are within your budget and within your strength. That's the best way to cut costs.
Yeah, yeah. Being like, it's very easy to just choose the popular vendors, but actually searching and looking for vendors. And also, I would say just know where you are financially. Don't try to impress anybody. Don't try to go out of your budget to trend or to, you know, compete with the weddings that you see online. Know where you're at financially and do what is within your budget. Like it's your wedding day, it's the two of you, and there's nobody to impress. People are gonna come and eat your food and probably not even gonna give you a gift. So just do what you can so that you enjoy your wedding day and that you have fun. Don't have like you have nothing to prove to anyone. So I would say just keep that in your mind and that will help you.
Don't forget that the goal is to be married, not to trend.
Yeah. So all right. So next question. Does it really cost less to have a wedding in Ghana?
It depends on individual preferences.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I think definitely the cost per product in Ghana is much less than Canada. Like a venue in Canada price will never, you will never get a venue for that price in Ghana. Never. Like, no. But actually, no, there's some places that will because Underbridge was charging like 30,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so there is a cost per product. It is a little bit cheaper, but I think again it all goes back to the type of wedding that you want. If you want the type of wedding that you want will determine how much that you pay for it. So there's certain venues that will cost the same amount as Canada. There's certain flower vendors. There's certain everything that will compare to Canada. But if you shop well, look for the right vendors, and stick within your budget, then yeah, it definitely will be cheaper, and your money can go a lot further than it would in Canada or the United States or UK or wherever. Do you prefer gifts before your wedding or on the day of?
Me?
Mm.
Oh, okay. So I would say both are good before the wedding because some people need it. Based on experience, at the point in time, some of the gifts that came before the wedding was helpful. Some too that came after the wedding was also helpful. So for me, both sides. Yeah.
I agree. I think whenever you can give as a giver is best for you. That's good. But I do think sometimes like those gifts that come in early, they do help because a lot of unexpected expenses come up in wedding planning, and
Yeah.
sometimes you have no idea. Like you just wake up and something you had no idea you needed ends up being needed, and then you get a gift that day, and that could just cover that. So it's just amazing to be able to have that to fall back on, especially because you're spending so much already. But then also after the wedding, it's nice to also have gifts and just feel loved, and be able to just ease some of the financial burdens and stress through gifts. So whichever one you're capable of as a giver, I think is beneficial. All right. So next is, what do you recommend newlyweds should do?
Newlyweds should do. Before even marriage, you should have a plan.
Mhm.
You should plan your future, plan your lives. You should have all the plan A, plan B, and trust God. And also, I think one of the things that being newly married has taught me is to be more patient. It's important, you know. Marriage is a real deal. So for me, I feel like patience is one key, and understanding, and respect, and love.
I think newlyweds should spend a lot of time together, communicate a lot, pray a lot, be intentional about um, dating and going out. It's easy to fall into the routine of just everything is normal because you're not planning a wedding, you're not dating, you're married. It's like you've arrived. Marriage is kind of like the destination for couples. Like you date, you pursue someone, you date them, you get engaged to them, and then marriage is obviously the final destination for couples. So it's easy to just become complacent because you've reached that final destination. And so I would say to be intentional about continuing to serve each other and to um, pursue the relationship and to make sure that it's growing. Yeah.
Marriage is actually the beginning, not the final destination. Yeah, that's where reality begins.
What are the things worth budgeting, and what is worth, okay, what things are worth budgeting and what things are worth investing in?
Okay, I think that's for you.
I would say the things that are worth spending a lot on is like the memorabilia. So obviously photography, obviously videography, because that's the only memory you have of the day. So those should probably be your biggest expenses, and those are okay to spend a lot on because if it's bad, what memories do you have of that day? And then I think after those two, what next would be atmosphere and appearance. So, of course, the venue that can make or break your event. And then your appearance. It's your day, so you guys should look good. Your groom's clothing and
Look
your
great.
bride's clothing, make sure that it's nice. So I think those five things probably would be mine top. And then obviously DJ, food, all those things go into a good event. But I think the top things would be the videography, photography, your outfits, your makeup, your hair, making sure that you look the way you want to look,
Yeah.
and then also like venue and atmosphere, DJ, and all those things. And in terms of budgeting, for me, I think souvenirs are a waste of money, personally. Invitations, all of those things, they're a waste of money. In Ghana, they're a big deal. But for me, I think those things are a waste of money. So I would say those things are worth saving on.
It's okay, my Ghanaian. She's Canadian. You understand?
So yeah. Okay, so what have you learned about yourself and the wedding industry during the planning process?
What have we learned about ourselves?
Yes, and the wedding industry.
For ourselves, I think we are more peaceful and understanding in the process. Yeah, and also like with the men, it's a quick advice. Weddings are for women, so allow them to feel free to enjoy or be themselves and have their dream, and that's what I'll say. Uh,
What I've learned about myself is that I get overwhelmed easily and I overthink. Out throughout the wedding process, I got overwhelmed so many times. I was overthinking. I would cry like once a week. And so, yeah, that's something I learned about myself. I don't like stress. I'm meant for the soft life. I'm a soft life baby girl, and I get overwhelmed easily. I overthink
so how are you crying?
because I was stressed out.
About what?
Wedding planning, it was stressful.
Oh my
And what
God.
I've learned about the industry, I feel like the wedding industry is just a business. It's so exploitative. Like the things that you're being charged for are ridiculous. And when you reach out to vendors, they will specifically ask you if it's for a wedding and jack up the price. So like makeup that you would regularly pay maybe 300, 400 cds for, because it's a wedding, 2000 cds. Hair that you would regularly pay like, I don't know, 200, 300 cds for, because it's a wedding, 1000 cds. Dress that you would regularly pay maybe 500, 600, 700 cds to sew, because it's a wedding, 3000 cds. So like just the branding of a wedding is makes everything go up.
I feel like maybe the vendors they put much into that, so that's why they charge a lot.
It's just a scamming industry.
I don't think
Weddings
so.
are a scam.
I don't think so.
They're a scam.
It's just like going to Gucci. People have built brands and they are trying to sell their brand. So
Scam. Next question. Can you suggest some Ghanaian wedding vendors that you think are really good in general?
yeah, first of all, I'm a J, Reggie's Makeover,
Yeah.
Bebe Gallery, Triple Dot, um, Yeah Ghana, and 360 Come, and also the event center, Lotus Garden. Yeah, big shout out to them. They are very good.
Jills underscore GH, the dressmaker of the year. Amazing.
And the one who made my suit, Evan Giant, like top notch.
Yeah.
He's really good and he has a lot of patience. Like, come and shout
Be
out to him.
Wishful by Yakoba for bridesmaids, gifts, and everything. She's such a doll to work with. She even gave me a free gift. Everything Robe GH. She amazing too. My beautiful robe was from her. They were really good to work with. I don't think we had problems with any of the vendors.
Not at all.
Like every
All our
single
vendors were
vendor.
so amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and if you want a good DJ, don't forget DJ Connect.
Yeah.
Very good DJ.
Yeah, we didn't have issues with them. Every one of our vendors was really, really good. We had some like wear and tear, some regular unavoidable circumstances happen, but even the way they handled it was really good.
Yeah, the vendors were great. They were patient. I think they were collaborative because they communicated like Bebe, Triple Dot, Reggie, everybody.
Yeah.
Ama J, like the lady that did the decor.
Mhm.
Lotus Garden kept on calling, making sure everything was fine. Amaje did a great job. Like everybody, the food 4:30 catering
Yeah.
service,
Yeah.
they did a great job. Like we were peaceful. We were so relaxed. Like
Yeah. And I think another thing that really helped is that we had vendors that had worked with each other before. Like, and
Yes.
even the ones that didn't work with each other, like Frankie, the MC, and the
Yeah.
DJ,
Yeah,
they
Ghana.
called them, like they called each other to make sure that they can build some rapport
Yeah.
and get familiar with each other, just so on the day it's not like strangers working together. So they really they came like prepared in that way by being able to communicate with each other before the wedding, just so there was no awkwardness. But then also the vendors that we picked were all kind of like attached, which was kind of intentional. Like as we were picking and planning, we would see through vendors list who worked with who, and then be able to pick from there. So they all kind of had a relationship or some rapport in some way. So even when I was getting styled, Reggie was doing my makeup, and then Fred was there, and Bebe was there, and they were making
And
jokes.
Regal Jewelry.
Yeah, they were making jokes
They
and
did a great
laughing
job.
the whole time. Like they were just talking. They were talking, laughing, having a good time because they already had a relationship with each other, which was good for me because it took some of the stress and the pressure off me just to see everybody having a good time, laughing and making jokes and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to all of them.
All right. Any thoughts on how to save money on food with Ghana?
In terms of wedding,
Yeah.
okay, so for us, the food, I would say we had, it was, how do I even put it?
So my auntie
Yeah,
is a caterer, so she blessed us
with the food,
with food. We,
Yeah,
we
so-
pretty much just paid for the materials.
materials basically, but we didn't really pay for much. Like,
Yeah. But actually, I never expected food to be so expensive in a wedding. Food is actually a really one of the highest costs in a wedding.
wedding, yeah.
I think just what I would say for saving money is cut down the guest list. Like I know in weddings here in Ghana, food usually always finishes and people don't get food. But I think for our wedding, everybody got food except
Yeah.
us.
There's a lot of food. Okay, it's not
Except
like we
us,
didn't
we
get
didn't
food,
get
we
food.
didn't get time to eat.
Yeah. But so yeah, just we ordered for extra food than people, and that's what you should do.
Yeah.
And so if you want to save on food, you're just gonna have to reduce the guest
So,
list.
if your guest is like 200, you should get food like 350. Food for 350 people. So that'll be more food, like
Yeah. So just cut down your guest list. That's how you can save on. And also, yeah, I think that's it. All right, next. Did your bridal party take care of their own cost, or did you bear the cost?
they took care of their own cost. That's for the groomsmen. They took care of their own cost, and they did great. Like they literally paid for everything. Like shout out to my boys, man. They did everything to ease stress on man.
Yeah, so the bridesmaids as well, they took care of their own costs. They they flew, their plane tickets, their accommodation, their food, their outfits, their makeup, hair. They took care of their own costs. And then I just helped where I could with little things, but the majority of the costs they did
Yeah.
take care of. And I think when it comes to bridesmaids and groommen taking care of their own costs, it's like mixed. Everybody has their own opinion, but I think that, in my opinion, I feel like if I'm a bridesmaid, I would take care of my own costs just because the bride and groom are spending so much already on a wedding,
Yeah.
and so your wedding gift to them is to take care of your own costs and help in that way. That's how I see it. I know other people have different opinions, but that's how I see it. And my girls had the same thoughts. So yeah,
And we really appreciate them so much.
yeah, it's humbling to know that people love you enough to sow that much into you, into your new union, into your marriage, and I can't wait till I'm able to do the same thing for all of them. Next question: should the woman start saving for her wedding, or should she expect the man to pay for everything?
That's a woman's question.
Okay, so I would say this is the thing. I know, especially in this part of the world, the man is expected to be the guy who provides for everything, and he's supposed to pay for everything and prove that he can take care of you and all. Which, okay, fine, sure. But I think one thing that you forget is that, and Charles mentioned it earlier, the wedding is an event. After that is the marriage. So I feel like you will pay for the wedding regardless of if you pay physically or later financially. After the wedding, you're married, so your finances are together. So if you put financial strain on your husband to be to pay for the whole wedding, and after the wedding, he's financially struggling, you're still paying for the wedding because now everything is on you. Either everything is on you to pay for, or you're going to live a very sad life because
Mediocre.
there's no money left.
You're gonna have a good place to stay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you are going to pay either way. You're either going to pay upfront or you're going to pay later on. And I think part of being prepared for marriage and being a wife is understanding that this is a partnership. And so approaching with the knowledge of partnership means that we're working together. That doesn't mean you have to go 50-50, or like if he brings A, you have to bring A. If he brings B, you have to bring B. If he puts $50, you have to put $50. That is not
No.
what I'm saying. But a partnership is coming together, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and leveraging on that for a common goal. So you guys both know you have a goal, and however you guys can achieve that goal together is the way that you achieve it. And finances is something that you should be talking about in dating, in courtship. All of these things should be talked about before you get to the place of wedding. So you should be able to, you should know where you are financially, where your partner is financially, what your combined income will look like, how you plan to pay for your wedding. All of these things should be a topic. So that's my opinion. We are in the 21st century. We are 2023 women. We're no longer women that sit down and expect men to pay for anything. Of course, we love to be wined and dined. Soft life is for all of us. It's a privilege for your man to spoil you, and we expect him to spoil us. But you also need to be wise and don't just think, oh, because you're a woman, the man is going to pay for anything. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, you're paying regardless. So you're either paying at the front or you're paying at the back. So you decide which one works for you.
Man, all I'll say, take responsibility. If you're a woman out there, just be supportive. That's all.
Yeah. And yeah, so and if you want to marry, you should be ready to marry and able to marry. And that goes for both men and women. So you like what I'm trying to say is, as a woman, don't look to marriage as a way for you to be bailed out of your financial woes. Like, don't marry for money. Don't marry so that somebody can be providing for you, or giving or taking care of you financially. If you are ready to marry, then you should be able to carry the finances of the burdens of marriage. And one of the burdens of marriage is finances. And that goes for both men and women. Another financial question. Do you both pull the funds equally, or are there some things that he's supposed to take care of in his capacity as the man?
So obviously there are some things that are given to the man to take care of in his capacity. But like I said, as a man, take responsibility. And as a woman, just be supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, and even for Ghanaian traditional weddings, there is a dowry list that a man
Yeah.
has to take care of, anyways. So by virtue, obviously, that by default becomes some things that men are supposed to take care of in his capacity. So, yeah. Next question: what was the budget for everything, and did you guys stay within the budget, or did you go over?
Oh my god.
I think wedding budgets are a scam.
just over budget.
There's
you know.
no such thing as a wedding budget, because even the number that you think in your mind is not real. Like, I don't think anybody can stay within wedding budget, really,
Nah.
because there will always be something that comes up that you didn't expect. They're not real. And also, once you, which Charles alluded to earlier, once you hit your budget, like your dreams
Yeah,
get
other
bigger.
thing. Yeah, that's it.
So like you once you
Okay,
once you
no, let
like,
me give you an example.
okay,
Okay, so this is one of the things that happened. So at a point in time, I knew that almost everything is like sorted out, balances are paid, and all of that. And she comes and say, "I think I have one thing on my dream list." And I go like, "What is it again?" Because I'm like, I thought we are done. Like, what is this again? And she goes like, "I need 360 camera,
yeah, 360
photo booth," and I'm like, "Yeah." That's not important. Why do we need that? And the face just changed. Like, I don't like it. So some of these things are unexpected, not planned for. You get it. But to make her happy, you have to do it. So, so these are all the things that might end up falling in place. Don't put pressure on yourself. If you can do it, just do it. If you can't, just stop it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't think wedding budgets are real because as you start getting closer to the target, the target moves. Like you see things on social media, you say you want to add this, you start having new
I
dreams.
think our target moved by 3 times,
Yeah.
like
So
3 consecutive times.
yeah, so the target keeps moving. Um, the number you have in your head is not real because things are gonna come up that you didn't plan for, and then you will have to do it. But it's still good to have like a ballpark of
Yeah.
what you want to spend. Obviously, to not go over your financial capacity and just do what you can. So what we did that worked really well is that we had a spreadsheet,
Vendors list.
yeah, a vendors list with
Uh,
everything that everybody was
Charging,
charging,
yeah.
and then we ranked things by most important. So we would pay for something, and then we would say, okay, what's the next most important thing? So, like you said, I had a dreams list, but that was separate from our.
That she called add-ons. I think she shared to my iMessage note, and I saw it. I'm like, God,
Yes, there were
what does she mean
add-ons.
by add-ons?
There were add-ons, but
This
so
is
there
not-
were things that so there were things that could be added on, right? If there was extra room and
Yeah.
extra finances, but they weren't like mandatory. We had our list of mandatory things, and
Yeah,
we
for that I
knocked
saw.
it.
But the add-ons is what I'm talking
We
about.
knocked it out based on order of importance, and then we had add-ons. So if God happened to bless us and we were able to add it on, we added it on, and we did add them on. That's why they're add-ons. And so
And we didn't even omitted one. We
Yeah.
added everything. Like,
yeah,
oh, God.
so that's just something to note. But then we also had a last and final amount that we said that we wanted to spend, and we went over that, right?
I think we went over the first budget, but we went over the first budget the same amount.
Mhm.
And we went on to the third budget about the same amount. So it's just like if let's say it was $10,000, we ended up increasing by $30,000. That's just an example. I can't disclose,
Yeah.
our finances like that. Yeah.
And then next question, and then the same person asked, what was the prices you had for each vendor? Oh,
For each vendor,
yeah.
I would say it's classified.
What are the new things you learned during wedding planning, and how did you manage the stress?
uh, I would say wedding planning is not for everybody. So, a friendly advice.
Pay the vendors
Vendors,
what they're worth.
what?
The not the vendors, wedding planners,
Find a wedding planner
and pay them what they're worth.
and pay them what they are worth.
They deserve the money.
They deserve the money. Because I'm telling you, for good 1 week, I didn't have rest. I literally slept for just 2 hours,
Mhm.
and I think on 2 or 3 days to the wedding, I didn't sleep at all. On the wedding day, I nearly broke down. I was sleepy. I was tired. I don't know. It looks like it was a miracle.
Mhm.
So find a wedding planner, pay them for to plan your wedding. The reason why is it wasn't like we didn't have a wedding planner. We didn't want to pay someone. It was just that I think the day that she was supposed to plan our wedding for 29, and she said after we booked her, she said we didn't pay her yet. But after we spoke to her, she came back to us and said that she had been booked for that same day, and we really understood it. So I think the person booked before we came to her, so it wasn't her fault. It was just one of those things. So we just took it upon ourselves. Oh, we can do it. We can do it. But please, it's not for everybody. Just find someone to do it.
How do you manage stress? Tears.
Stress.
Cry. That's how you manage stress.
For
Charles
me-
didn't cry, but I cried.
Oh, how will I cry?
I cried. So that's how you
For
manage
me,
stress.
that
Tears and prayer.
so
Tears
for
and
me,
prayer.
the stress. I think I would on a daily basis probably. I love watching comedy. So that's the best way for me. Watching comedy, listening to music. I don't. I'm not that kind of person that get too much worried and bored about so many things. Maybe she does, but But like I'm much. Yeah, I don't stress myself on things.
Next question. A rough estimate for how much was spent in total.
Rough estimate of how much was spent in total. Just buy for 200,000 Ghana cedi. I'm not saying it's going to be up to that amount. Just rough estimate. That's what I'm saying. That 200,000 Ghana cedis. You can do something great for yourself.
Were the vendors up to your expectation? If not, is there a place for feedback?
The vendors were up to our expectation. That's for me. I don't know.
Yeah, they were up to our expectation. Like we said, our vendors were very easy to work with. They were very helpful. They were very good. There's not really room for feedback. I don't think. I was thinking the only person that called us and asked us how things were was the DJ. He personally
Yeah, I'm
messaged
a J2
and
call.
called. Oh, okay. J
Yeah.
called to ask. So some of them they did
And
call.
Baby too did call.
Okay. So some did call, but others didn't really. But we told them that we were happy with them on the day of. Did you enjoy planning the wedding? Would you recommend a couple to plan their own wedding? I did enjoy planning the wedding, even though it was stressful, because I feel like I got to build a relationship with the vendors. If a wedding planner is planning your wedding, they build the relationship with the vendors. But I feel like I got to build, which I really enjoyed because it made it more personal. Like I got to know about their business and them; they got to know about me. So it was a lot more personal working together with them. So I enjoyed. That's the part that I enjoyed. So even if you don't plan your own wedding, I would say have like a say in it. Don't let the wedding planner. Well, you can if you want to, but if you can have a say in it and get to know the vendors personally, I think you should take advantage of that.
Yeah, so I took the time to know where they stay, build a rapport, relationship with them. That makes things work.
Yeah. What's one thing you hated during the process and one thing that you loved?
For me, I think I didn't have enough rest. That's the only thing I hated. But aside, everything was fun. One of the things I enjoyed were having our guests around. You know, it's for me it was beautiful. I was much grateful to have people flying from around the world just to come for your wedding, and yeah, it was beautiful. Spending time with them and all of that, and yeah, meeting my in-laws, family, all of that.
I would say one thing that I hated is just the uncertainty of it all. Um, like I said, you don't know what's gonna come up of that day. You're planning blindly, pretty much, and you're just trusting people to show up for you and to make your visions come to life. But you don't actually know because you don't see the decor before the wedding. You just tell the decorator what you want, and so I kept having nightmares. And I even would call Charles and tell him that like I had this nightmare that we went and the decor was terrible and it looked so bad and I was
She was
crying.
just
Like
paranoid.
I literally started having nightmares about it. Like that the decor was really bad and we went in and we hated it and what we paid for it wasn't it and it was like a really low budget DIY type of thing. I started having nightmares about it. So you don't know how it's gonna look till that actual day. Even before, even the day of, when I was still getting ready, my bridesmaids were at the venue. I was like texting them, "How does it look? Send me a video. Does it look good?" And nobody was minding me, but I was like, I was having anxiety because you don't know how it's gonna look, right? So I think just the uncertainty of it all. Like I'm a person that likes to plan. I like my things to be like in order. So just trusting some people fully with bringing my vision to life was like so uncertain. Like, are they gonna do it well? Is it gonna look nice? Am I gonna like it? Am I gonna hate it? That type of thing. Um, that was what I didn't like. Just feeling like my life and my whole everything was in somebody else's hands and they could just drop the ball at any time. Because like think about it, they can actually not show up. Like you can pay someone and they don't come. Then what? Like you could pay someone and they don't come. What are you gonna do? It's your wedding
Take
day.
them to court.
On your wedding day, you can't do anything. Some cry. There's this girl on TikTok whose videos going around. She paid someone like I think it was I don't know how much she paid, but probably the equivalent of so many $1,000s for decor, and the person didn't show up. So her sister had to put decor together, and the decor was bad. but like she had to put something together
Just take
just
the
for the
person to
wedding day.
court, you know.
Yes, but it's on your wedding day. So it's like that was the hardest part for me. Just like
I for me, nobody jokes with me. So the thing is that my vendors realize that I don't take nonsense. I don't take bullshit from. Everyone knows I don't take nonsense and bullshit from people. So I try to put them on a certain security check, like going to their homes, knowing where they stay, everything, doing my personal investigation about all the vendors. And sometimes it felt a bit personal, but I had to do that. And some of them understood where I was coming from because I didn't want, any flops or anything like that.
yeah,
Yeah, right from events and everything. Like,
yeah. So the next question is, what was your biggest pain point with planning? So I think we pretty much just answered that. The biggest or the thing that we dislike the most. So, yeah. And finally, the last question is, what would you do differently if you had the chance to?
to get married again.
Yeah, what would you do differently?
Or what I'll do differently, I'll just fly ahead to mountains with two family. Just don't mind me, I'm just being sarcastic.
Um, what would I do differently if I could again?
Don't
I
worry, there's
think
nothing to do differently because we will not again.
yeah, but also that was actually my dream wedding. Like everything that I've ever imagined for my wedding, that's what it was. Like I always say, I've never imagined myself wearing a white dress and a veil and tiara. I could care less. Every time I thought about a wedding, it was in my traditional attire and everything like wrapped up, and I did that. And then my kente gown, I did that. So like the wedding itself, there's nothing that I would do differently. But I think the process, I would have trusted God more. Like there's so many times, like I said, I was crying every week. I was scared. I was like, it's gonna turn out good. I had anxiety. I had doubt. I was like, are we gonna fail? It's gonna like everything. The devil really attacked my mind, and he was successful because I wasn't strong in faith. Charles was strong in faith the whole time. He was like, "Don't worry, God is gonna do it. God is gonna do it," and he was pissing me off because like I'm having anxiety. I'm going through so much in regular planning. I just need someone to like, and Charles is just like calm. God is gonna do it. Have faith, babe. Have faith. He was pissing me off all the time, but he kept his faith the whole time. And I feel like if I could do something differently, I would tap into that faith and trust God and really just know He's truly gonna come through for us. Charles would always say the whole time, God has brought us this far. He's not gonna leave us here. God has brought us this far. He's not gonna leave us here. And I would just
And
listen, but I wasn't
it's
like
the truth.
taking it in. So if I could do it again, I would trust God because we saw His hand so heavily in our wedding process, and I think I would have enjoyed it more if I had had faith. Charles kept his faith the whole time. There was one day I was like crying, and he made us like get up and dance. Do you remember?
I
He made us
remember.
like dance in Jubilee and do praises. I was like, literally, I'm crying right now, and Charles has us dancing and doing praises together. And he's like, let's shame the devil and praise God. Let's shame the devil and do victory. That's what you get when you marry a man of God. So I was just looking at him like, is this guy serious right now? But he made us dance and praise God and just different things like that. Like the whole time he kept his cool. And I know sometimes he was worried too. He didn't want me to know. But I know sometimes he was worried too.
No, I
And he
wasn't worried. I
was
just would always ask myself, God, when is the next stand up? That's the thing because I know He will show up. I have this faith in God. Like if you know where I've come from to get to this place in marriage, like I stand to be grateful. You get it, and like let me just chip this in. My wife was brought to my understanding, I think, a few days ago.
Mhm.
Um, we're looking for this we had to move from where we literally were to a very more bigger space and this new apartment we find ourselves in, and we didn't even plan for this.
Mhm.
We just stumbled on it,
Yeah.
and
That has been our story like
and
from the beginning.
easy we didn't
We
plan for it.
stumbled
We
on each
stumbled on it,
other. We
and then we had
stumbled
it.
into a
We just
relationship. We stumbled into we didn't stumble into marriage,
so
but
you get
we
it. So we
stumbled
stumbled
here.
into this apartment and we just had it literally just like that. It was not even planned for. Like, and that's what I'm trying to say. So I have come a long way with God, and I know that He has not brought me this far to leave me. Like I've been through a lot with God, and anytime He's been there, He's always stand up, and I love Him. So I know that He will not bring me this far to leave us. So I was telling her, just have faith, and sometimes it's a bit annoying, but we know our God, and we have faith in Him. I feel like preaching tonight.
It's a lot of time.
But just what I'll say is that for me there will not be another wedding again. This is my last stop.
Yeah.
So I don't really have what I'll do better.
Yeah.
All that I'll do better is already done. Yeah, maybe she says she'll have faith more in God.
Yeah. Because God really came through
Yeah.
for us. Like I remember.
I think maybe when we're getting married in heaven, I don't know, but
Yeah,
no wedding
he
anymore.
truly just came through for us. Like there were certain times where we had like a deadline to pay of the exact amount. Remember, like with the decor, we had a deadline to pay the decor, and then we got that 20K. Like
I think we went to church.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Prophet William.
yeah, we went to
Yeah.
church,
And
and
then
we had like a deadline to pay 20K that week.
yeah, and then Prophet William was like, "Don't worry, you're gonna receive money." I think by the moment we stepped out of the church,
We got the message that somebody was sowing 20K.
yeah, 20K. I was like,
That's it,
how?
like
Like, what's
that.
happening?
Yeah. So just different things like that. All through
Someone
the
just
problem.
took 20K out of their pocket and said, "Listen,
Yeah.
I'm just giving you this."
And I think in terms of like the whole wedding process, just different God moments of that. So many things were sponsored.
Yeah,
Decor was sponsored. My robe, my makeup.
a lot of things.
So many things.
My
were, like,
suit, thank
yeah.
you, Pastor Money. Like,
so many
you know.
things were sponsored.
Yeah.
My hair, like everything was like so many things. So people just really came through for us, showed us their love, and then they matched our efforts and they just helped us everywhere they could.
You know,
So,
with my suit like this, so I think that night I prayed and I was planning to go pay for it the following day. And I think around 12 a.m.,
mhm.
Pastor Manny called me from America and she was like, "What's up for man of God? God has put upon my heart. I want to take care. I want to pay for your suit." And I was like, wow, like God, like, this is another 10 up. Like, I had the money there to go and pay and all of that, but just that I had to push that money towards something else. And that is God. So just have faith in God and everything will work out.
So yeah, that is our experience planning a wedding here in Ghana. It has been amazing. It was amazing. Definitely, we will not be doing it again because we're staying married forever.
Yeah.
But we hope that our experience, some of our insights, also help you as you plan your wedding in Ghana as well. Any final words?
I want to say thank you to all the vendors, all the sponsors.
Everyone that gave gifts, sassy and saved.
And also, most importantly, all the prayers we really appreciate.
Yeah.
And this is a special thanksgiving from me to Reggie's Makeover. God bless you. Reggie did her makeup for free.
Yes.
And special thanksgiving from me to Prophet William Boateng. We want to say thank you. God bless you. Reverend Latif Balo, Reverend Lady Joan Balo, and the names are Lord Daddy.
That's why I don't want
Robert
to
Safa, Pia, Mommy, everybody, like my big brother, Raid of New Kind of wife, every one of them, like, Pastor Manny, Pastor Wendy, like everybody, the groomsmen, the bridesmaids, like there are people a lot, like we can't even.
I'm not even gonna mention names lest I forget anybody.
Yeah.
But thank you to everyone who gave, who sold, who prayed, who gave anything towards this wedding. Whether it was prayer, whether it was money, whether it was time, anything. We pray that the Lord will replenish you, and we just thank you for thinking of us, for loving us, and for helping us to get this far. And we thank God, number one, of course, above all, we thank God for just being there for us and walking with us and showing Himself strong.
Special thanksgiving also to my Father in heaven, Almighty God, and also to my best man and my best friend, Francis. Big ass man.
All right, thank you guys. Until next time.